public's out there throwing darts at a board, sport. I don't throw darts at a board. I bet on sure things. Read Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Every battle is won before it's ever fought. Think about it.
Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and I am sick. Oh, I am so sick. You can hear it in my voice. I am sick. Freaking Nerdarchy always blocking every single attempt that I have in taking over their silly little station. It's a YouTube channel. Why can't I get a permanent hack? I don't get it. But you know what? I'm not going to quit. You want to know why? Because in this world, there are the haves and the have-nots. And right now, I have not, but I shall have. I shall have what they have. I shall have, well, I'm really hoping for an open-faced Reuben. Because let's face it, Jersey's got the best freaking diners in the world. That's where Nerdarchy is. And I'm stuck up here in Canada, Jersey boy, stuck up in Canada, and there's no diners around. There's no halfway decent diners. There's nothing. There's no diners. So until my open-faced Reuben demands are met, I shall continue hacking Nerdarchy. That's right. I didn't say my reasons made sense. Anyway, guys, in the meantime, let's talk about some comic books. Let's talk about what we got going on over in my channel, my dinerless channel. So let's talk about X-Men Gold, issue number 13. Guys, you ever hear of Mojo? Ratings are everything for Mojo, right? And when ratings are the only thing on your mind, well, you're sure to screw up some way, somehow. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Mojo, because this knucklehead is actually crossing over into two different X-Men titles just simply for the sake of those ratings. Now, over in Astonishing X-Men issue number 4, that's a slightly different story. You've got Old Man Logan in there actually killing people. Oh yeah, no joke. This is Wolverine like we haven't seen him since like the 80s. He's seriously hacking and slicing and dicing people, and like he's unstoppable. And they're really giving you the impression that this guy will not stop ever until he slices people up, because that's what he does. Hack and slash, baby. So yeah, I'm reviewing these comics. I'm reviewing a lot of comics after a word from the sponsor.
The new law in corporate America seems to be survival of the unfittest. Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated.
Guys, Batman Dawnbreaker. This is the latest of a couple of one-shots that are tying in with the DC Universe's Metal Dark Knights storyline event. And Dawnbreaker, this is basically Batman in another universe getting the power of the Green Lantern. He doesn't use his willpower the way that Hal Jordan or some of the other Green Lanterns would. No. He uses it slightly different, and he's actually developed a new power by subjugating his ring and corrupting it. And he's just got this, you know what? Go and check out the review. You'll get a better idea. On top of that, Batman, The White Knight, issue number 1 of 8. This is going to be an 8-parter, and this is Elseworlds. That means it's not happening in the proper DC universe. It has no bearing, no effect on the rest of the DC universe. And they're giving Joker a name, Jack Napier. You remember that? That was way back when Jack Nicholson was doing the 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton, and he was called Jack Napier there. This is a slightly different Batman and Joker take. Batman's a little bit more angry. He's really ticked off at the Joker, and he's beating him unconscious and actually shoving pills down his mouth. Well, it turns out these pills were apparently a cure, and the Joker is going to be suing Gotham for standing by and allowing a vigilante to hurt him like that. Yeah, there's a lot of social commentary involved in this particular storyline. And it's interesting, guys, because the Joker is now cured, apparently. Or is he? But he vows to be, since Batman is the Dark Knight, he vows to be the White Knight, to rid not only crime, but the Batman from Gotham City.
In the last 7 deals I've been involved with, there were 2.5 million stockholders who have earned a pre-tax profit of more than $12 billion. Thank you. You're too kind. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sit down.
Sorry, did you think I was going to be finished talking about Batman? Wrong answer. Batman issue number 32 is out. And in this issue, Catwoman tells Bruce Wayne her answer. Will she or will she not marry him? Yeah, dude, this is actually a really big deal. He proposed to her and everything. So it's the end of the war of jokes and riddles between the Riddler and Joker. And yeah, Joker is big time, like just as wicked as he usually is, but Riddler, that's the big change. He's this ridiculously strong, tough, fighting Irish guy all of a sudden. They changed him up big time. So, yeah. And with this war now being over, Catwoman gives Bruce an answer. You might not want to miss this one. On top of that, the writers for Bane, the original writers, we're talking about Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon, they're back. They're back writing for Bane. They're writing a Bane 12-part series, and they're halfway through it right now. It gets kind of weird at certain parts, but you get to see Bane the way that his creators meant for him to be. So it's kind of hard to argue with some of the things you might like or not like in the stories, but it's interesting nonetheless. You can't take that away from them. It's very good. On top of that, if you're not too familiar with who Bane is or who the creators are and whatnot, and who the third creator, surprise, actually is, go ahead and check out Bane Explained in a Minute. You could check out Catwoman Explained in a Minute while you're there too. You know.
I am not a destroyer of companies. I am a liberator of them.
Guys, I got two wars for you. One of them's just beginning them, one of them is just ending. And Venomverse is ending. Issue 5 is out. It was part of a 5-part miniseries. There are 11 issues total, Edge of Venomverse and also the Venomverse proper. Well, Eddie Brock is the original Venom again, and there's a whole bunch of different symbiotes that have been brought into this universe, and they're being chased by these guys called the Poisons. Well, are they able to actually defeat the Poisons? Are they able to cure the Poisons? Is there a chance these guys coming back? What about if they pour over into our universe? And what exactly happened that's going to change Eddie Brock forever? Hard to tell. But guys, on a more serious note, you've got Punisher, the Platoon. This is the beginning of his war. You see, this is actually Frank Castle's introduction to the Vietnam War. This is him going to Vietnam for his very first tour. He took several. And his wife and family, you know, they're still alive or just, you know, haven't been born yet, all that good stuff. But he is now for the very first time here, and he's already got some demons. Guys, the first part, the first third of this comic is just me talking about the comic and giving it a grade. The remaining part of this review actually involves me explaining all sorts of military terms. My 6-year stint in the military has given me a specific insight into all of the terminology that is used in here, and there's a lot. I am afraid that there are many people who are not used to reading military terminology are not going to get this comic. So I do what I can to try to explain it so that you can really enjoy what you're reading, because so far, this is turning out to be one hell of an issue.
Now, you're not naive enough to think you're living in a democracy, are you, buddy? It's the free market. You're a part of it.
Guys, Avengers number 672. Oh, that's right. They're back to their original legacy numbering. So the original numbering as Stan Lee originally intended them to be. I said original too many times. And there we go. I said it again. The idea here is that they're bringing it back to that numbering system. So 672. Whoa, that's a lot, right? Yeah. Well, now what they're going to do is they're also going to cross over with the Champions comic book for 3 issues in each series, each title, I should say, because the Champions have come along to help out the Avengers in an issue that's way too big for any one team to handle. The question is, can they actually work with each other? Especially since some of the original founders, did I say original again? have actually joined up with the Champions. They left the Avengers because they didn't like the way they were working to begin with. So are there going to be leadership issues, a tug of war, push and shove? It's already looking pretty rough. On top of that, guys, Spirits of Vengeance. This is a comic book. It's issue number 1 of 5. And we got the original, Ghost Rider there, Johnny Blaze. Not the first one, but definitely the original. And He's out there with Damien Hellstrom, the son of Satan. He's out there with Blade of all. Blade's funny, and you got to check out the comic to see his voicemail. Totally awesome, and I'm totally nicking that. That's a great voicemail. Anyway, these guys team up because it turns out there's a whole bunch of bad guys and demons that are re-rising once every millennium, and it happens to be around this time now, so will they be too late? You got 4 more issues to figure that out.
You got that killer instinct. Stick around, pal. I got a lot to teach you.
Guys, Black Bolt issue number 6 and Royals issue number 9. Black Bolt, try to read that one first. Check out the review. You got Black Bolt just escapes from this top secret prison that's not as top secret as he thought. And the criminal guy who's actually running the whole organization, this guy, Black Bolt has to face him. One of his crew will get killed, just so that we're clear. Yeah. I don't know how much it'll surprise you who, but it will surprise you how sad it'll make you. Also, he winds up adopting someone. That one shouldn't be too hard. Anyway, on top of that, we also have Royals number 9. The progenitors, these creatures who technically existed before the the Celestials. This is getting really wild. Marvel is actually rewriting its entire cosmic history, and we're front seat for that ride. Right now, Royals is the issue to figure out what all of the cosmic stuff is and what's going on. It's pretty good stuff. Go ahead and check it out. Guys, Green Arrow number 32 and Superman number 32. Green Arrow is finishing off a Metal series tie-in. There's several issues, you can check them out in the description below, that they actually have 4 titles that are combined to tell one side story that's actually kind of crucial to the main event of Metal. I'm kind of impressed. I didn't expect to see some of that stuff coming. It's good stuff. On top of that, Superman. Superman has to fight Deathstroke? Really? The inspiration for Deadpool? Slade Wilson has a contract out to kill Lois Lane. And Slade never misses a contract. So what's he going to do when he has to stand face to face against Superman? Might surprise you, because Slade's a pretty resourceful guy.
The illusion has become real, and the more real it becomes, the more desperate people want it. Capitalism at its finest.
Guys, I don't just review comic books. Gifted is the episode 1 just dropped. This is the X-Men title that Fox just put out. And I'm not complaining. I also did Explained in a Minute reviews for all of the major characters in this. Good stuff, good source material that they pulled up from. On top of that, issue 3 of the Inhumans just dropped. All of this was done with IMAX cameras. Look, this is not the best TV series that I've ever seen. Maybe it's not even the best series that's on TV right now, but it's good. There's a lot of complaints from people around, oh, this was the Marvel venture that failed. Depends on how you consider fail. I would say this is actually a really good story. I'm loving it, and I'm reviewing the heck out of it. Up until Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes out, because it's going to switch, and hopefully it crosses over. We'll see. Guys, finally, make sure you check out my Spotlight on Story. This is where I do an extended review of an older comic or a series of comics, maybe an entire run. Here, I actually do an entire run. There were 12 issues plus an issue 0 of Fear Itself, The Fearless. This is a sidebar of the Fear Itself event. So there were 3 main titles here, and I'm only going to review one of them and the history thereof. And as I'm reviewing this, it's an hour and 15 minutes long. It's really good. And the story seems to center on Brunhilde, the Valkyrie. She's the chooser of the slain. She's the senior Valkyrie. And just for the sake of conversation, I also explained her in a minute this week. So make sure you check that out. It's a good explanation. I answered a whole lot of questions there. I actually did this one live. I may do most of them live. We'll see. But it was a lot of fun to do, and nobody else, to the best of my understanding, has done that on the web. They've done the main series. They didn't do this sidebar. And Cullen Bunn is the writer of this. He's the main writer of 3 on this, and I think he did one heck of a job. So, by all means, please check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Nerdarchy, I will have you. You will be mine. Mine. You are my precious. It's all about greed. And I'm going to give you some inspiring words about greed. Guys, make sure you check out Comic Book University. Tuition is always free. Anyway, guys, I'm going to jet for now. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, is that greed, for the lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies. It cuts through and captures the evolutionary spirit. Greed in all its forms. Greed for life. Greed for money. Greed for love. Greed for knowledge has marked an upward surge in mankind. Greed. You mark my words. Greed will save Nerdarchy and that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA. Thank you very much.